Boom! Welcome into another edition of Make Every Second Count Live with me, your host and international award-winning Make Every Second Count speaker, Jeff Marconette Jr. Now, I am so pumped up about tonight because our guest is really a game changer and she is going to help you overcome things in your life. But first of all, let me say that my background is I was in a severe car accident 21 plus years ago, and I spent 3.5 months in the hospital, 2.5 of which I was in a coma. They told me I wouldn't walk again, and now I am here to show each and every person out there that everyone goes through some things in life, and we often have to grow through those things in order to progress beyond those things. So I ask you guys if you would please share this episode out. Invite as many people as you can to watch it because I guarantee this girl is going to blow your socks off. So, with no further ado, I would like to bring to the stage Lauren. Well, we can't see you, but
Hi, can you
there
hear
you
me?
are. Yeah, can hear you now.
There we go.
So,
Wonderful.
how are you doing today, Lauren?
I'm doing okay. Thanks for asking.
I am so glad to hear that. If you would like to go through a short introduction, tell everybody who you are, where you're from, what you do, and more importantly, why you do what you do, and then we will go through the things that you have grown through, and then we will go through your tips for growing through these things.
Yeah, so my name is Rose. I live in the Dallas, Texas area. I'm 43 years old. I've been married almost 16 years. We have an amazing 10-year-old daughter, and I live with chronic
Okay.
pain. I have for nearly 30 years, so most of my life. And I'm basically a podcaster. I started a blog, but I mainly podcast at this time. So I have a podcast called It Hurts to Mom, and it's for people who live with chronic pain and chronic illness.
That's awesome. I'm so proud of you that you do this stuff. But we also would like you guys to comment on this video, interact with us, get the conversation going. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I will make sure they are answered. But so I have to ask Lauren, is there anything that you have had to grow through?
I mean, there's probably been a lot in my life. One of the most recent things was when my whole body chronic pain set in. I had to stop working. That was in 2017. And I had a great career, great job. I loved my company. And when I had to quit working, I was completely devastated. I had not only lost my job and my career, I had lost a lot of functionality because I couldn't do things, physically that I wasn't able to do before. I felt like I'd lost a lot of my identity. And most importantly, I felt like I'd lost my purpose in life. A lot of us, we connect our life purpose to what we do in a career. And we didn't have that anymore. I didn't know what purpose was. So that's a big thing that I was in a deep depression, just grieving all of these things for nearly 2 years. I barely got out of bed. I barely took care of my daughter. I certainly didn't have fun or do anything that I wasn't taking good care of myself at all. I wasn't even taking care of myself. And that's how my grief manifested, was in a really deep depression.
And how exactly did that make you feel? I mean, I understand that depression kind of means sadness, but depression makes everybody feel differently. It makes some people anxious, makes other people stressed, makes some people extremely sad, makes other people suicidal. How exactly did yours make you feel?
Well, I had a daughter, so I couldn't really feel suicidal, but I was definitely sad, and I had some anger. I was very angry at my body. I felt like my body had was betraying me at 37 years old. And so I had no interest in anything. It was a lot of sadness, a lot of loss of interest, and a lot of anger.
Yeah, I understand that sadness and anger. I totally get that. So I might have missed this. I'm sorry. I was trying to invite a few people on my phone to get the crowd going more. But did you say why exactly you were suffering with chronic pain?
So I've had migraines since I was about 15. I'm on for 2 jobs because of that. But then when I was 6, I started having really severe spinal pain. And so I went on short-term disability my spinal pain. And while I was on short-term disability, my pain in my spine spread to the rest of my joints. And so it wasn't just my spine, it was my hips and my shoulders and my knees and my hands, and my feet. And then I have fibromyalgia, all that.
You cut out there, but I caught the gist of it. That really is terrible, and I'm sorry you had to go through all this stuff. But I know from personal experience that there are certain techniques that people use in order to grow through something. It's some way they find the lesson in those things and they learn something from those things. So what exactly did you learn and how did it help you get to the bright side of life? I guess that doesn't really sound right, but you know what I mean.
No, I've gotcha. So one day I was laying in bed and I realized, because my daughter is friends with it, that I did not want my daughter to grow up remembering me as the mommy who was in bed all the time, hurting and depressed. So I knew I had to do something different. So the first thing I ended up doing was joining a book study at my church. We were reading this book called It's Not Supposed to Be This Way, which is exactly how I was feeling about my life. This is not what I had been working for. This is not what I'd planned for. This just isn't fair. This isn't right. But what happened was there was a lady in our book club who runs a nonprofit organization called Grateful Gratitude. And she encouraged me. It's very depressing. Meeting, I cried a lot. And she encouraged me to practice gratitude, intentional daily gratitude. Every single night, 3 things I was grateful for. And so after you've done this for about a week, you're kind of having to really dig. And so I started realizing it hurts me a lot to walk, but I'm thankful that I can walk. I'm thankful that
Yeah,
I have legs to walk. At least I can do it. So it really changed my
exactly.
perspective from all the things that I'd lost, all the things I couldn't do, to all the things that I still had and the things I could do, even if I had to modify those things. And the other big thing that really helped me was realizing that, I believe in a higher power, that, God could take my life and make something new and beautiful out of it. But if you don't believe in a higher power, you could fully do that yourself. So what I realized is that my life didn't have to be over just because I lived with chronic pain. So what I started doing was connecting with other people online who lived with chronic pain and depression and anxiety and previous trauma. And I found joy in helping other people and encouraging them and giving them advice and especially helping them feel like they weren't alone. And then in some research, I learned that 1 out of 5 people in the world lives with chronic pain. That is a lot of people.
Wow.
So I knew that I wasn't alone, even though I know, neither did I. And it's always felt so lonely. This whole nearly 30 years of living with some kind of chronic pain has felt lonely. So I decided that my new purpose in life was to help other people that live with chronic pain not feel so alone. So that's why I started my blog. And then I felt this kind of nudge to start a podcast just because. So I started my podcast and I just try to encourage people and, give them different tips on how to, things that might help them manage their pain better. And that's how I've come out the other side. I mean, using my physical pain and even emotional pain to help other people. I mean, that's icing on the cake. I found a new purpose in life, and it's to help other people. It doesn't really get better than that.
No, see, you have found what I consider your purpose, and when you have turned your pain into your power or your purpose, I think that is really going to help you in the long run. And I know that you said you used gratitude, and gratitude is something that is huge in my life. You see, I was told that I would never walk again after my car accident. And I kind of had to just not believe them and do what I wanted to do because I knew it was possible for me. And you were talking a little bit about being thankful that you still have legs and that you are still able to walk. Yeah, it might be kind of difficult. Granted, it is for me too. Don't worry. And mine doesn't always look the best. I don't know about yours, but
yeah,
it don't matter. I'm still doing it. And there is more to actually walking than a lot of people think. And I am really, really, really blessed just to be able to go out there and walk. Hey, if it's not the prettiest thing, oh well, I still do it. So I find
absolutely. Yeah,
your
I walk with the lips, so
I'm sorry you were
no, go
breaking
ahead.
up again.
Oh, I just said I walk with a limp, so I get that mine's not the prettiest either.
Yeah. Well, I understand that. So, what exactly do you talk about in on your blog, and how have you been perceived by expressing your pain, I guess?
Well, in my blog, I just about certain experiences that I've been going through and um, a lesson that I've learned from it. And that's the same with my podcast. I mean, every episode ends with some kind of advice or some kind of lesson, so that it's not just people complaining about living with pain or living with, mental illness or trauma. It's something at the end to help the listener. So, and we've talked about trauma. We've talked about mental illness. I've got several episodes with real, actual doctors who come on and talk about, what it's like living with chronic illness in their world.
Yeah, that's interesting. May I ask a little bit? Uh, are these doctors that are suffering with the chronic illness, or are these just doctors that treat people with chronic illnesses?
So both. I believe every doctor I've had on so far has had some kind of chronic pain or chronic illness journey themselves, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
And a lot of them do treat people with chronic pain and chronic illness now. A lot of them have moved away from traditional Western and moved over more to holistic functional medicine, because Western medicine is just, it doesn't always problem, right? Is there to
You froze up again. All right, so a lot of the doctors have switched over to Eastern medicine or something other than Western medicine.
Right, a lot of them have. One is still in the Western medical field, but she incorporates, actually, believe it or not, she incorporates an element of spirituality in her practices. So they all have found that Western medicine isn't the end all be all of all chronic illness.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. So, how exactly can people read your blog if they are looking to?
The website is ithurtstomom.com.
You
And
broke
since
up.
I haven't done anything, but I do need to get back to that because I've got a lot of website is ithurtstomom.com.
Ithurtstomom.com.
So that's where my blog is.
All right.
Yeah, that is
I'll
correct.
put that in the comments here, so people will be able to go find it if they want to. It hurts to mom.com. That rhymes. I like it. It hurts to
It does.
mom.com. It's like, dang, you're the bomb.com.
.com.
Yeah. So, what is your podcast called, and how can people listen to that if they want to?
It is also called It Hurts to Mom, and is on all the major platforms. It's on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, where.
Wow, that's pretty cool. And how many listeners do you normally get on your podcast?
I don't really look at that, because for me, it's
All
not
right.
about how many people listen. It's just about
Okay.
putting it out there and having, putting good into the world.
And do you find that benefits you in the long run, putting that good out there? Do you feel that you get more good back when you put
I
that
feel
out
like
there?
it does.
That's awesome. Do you know
Absolutely.
that's great. So if you could offer someone out there that is going through a hard time right now, offer them some suggestions to get through their hard time, what would those suggestions be?
So, number one, realize that our circumstances do not define our attitude or our destiny. We get to determine those things. And the second, that we all have some kind of purpose in life. And the third one would definitely be practice intentional daily gratitude. It will really, science has shown that it actually changes the neural pathways in your brain so that you automatically start thinking more positively instead of automatically thinking negatively.
Yes, that is awesome advice. I love gratitude myself. I don't know if you have been following like my Facebook or my Facebook group, but I did in April. I did an entire monthly challenge of gratitude where I posted 3 things a day that I was grateful for. And then on my Facebook every morning, even before I get out of bed, I post up there. I post the same thing every day, but I am so thankful to be given today, and I will make it a great day. And that sums up my life. I mean, the make every second count thing sums up my life in total. But being thankful for your day and deciding that you're going to make it a great day, it really shows that I do make every second count. That I talk about it a lot. I wear clothes with it on. I have wristbands. I have hats. I have all kinds of things that say make every second count. And people look at me weird when I say that because there are 86,400 seconds in a day. And people are wondering, well, how exactly are you going to make them all count? I said, it's really not that hard. If you're grateful for everything that you have, all abilities that you have, then how are you not going to be thankful or make every second count? Because when you are thankful for so many things, you will start to see more and more things you are thankful for. It's like a giant snowball rolling down a hill. It doesn't get smaller, but it gets bigger with snow because it all compacts upon each other. And it's really cool when you can get somebody practicing gratitude for the first time, because for a while there they will kind of struggle to get going. And I generally have to talk them through the first couple days. But as they keep going, they end up seeing more and more things that they're thankful for. And I find that to be one amazing thing. So, if you had one thing that you could say to people, what would that one thing be? I think she froze again.
Sorry, we cut out. I missed your question.
All right. If
I'm
there
just
was
that again.
one thing that you could
Okay. What
tell
was your question?
everybody
I'm
out
sorry.
there, no, you're all right. But if there's one thing that you could tell each and every person out there, what would that be?
If you're going through something really difficult right now and you want to give up, don't. Because next year at this time, things will likely be very different, especially if you're doing something about your situation. Things will get better.
Yes, I so agree with that. That my dad is telling me that we both are frozen. Ah, why did
Oh.
my screensaver just come on? That was weird. But so I definitely appreciate you taking the time out of your evening to be here with me and my guests, because I know that each of them out there celebrate you. And Ben Bruce, who is from Nigeria, says, "Talk to me, Lauren." He says, "Wow," earlier here in the conversation. And he says, "Depression sucks." So he knows a little bit about depression. Guys, we thank you all for your comments. And I want to say hi to my Uncle Walt, who just came into the room. And I appreciate you, Walt. And Dad, thank you so much for watching. And guys out there, I need you all to do me a favor. I need you to make every second count. Why? Because you never know when those seconds are going to run out on your one life. Hey, you guys have a great night. I'll see you back here next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, on the show where we help you grow through the things that you are going through. Thank you again, Lauren. Have a great night.
Thank you. You too.